We are live from Miami, parts unknown, South Florida. Omar, how you doing?
I'm definitely a Miami guy, so yes, I am from Miami. You
There
were
you
actually a Miami guy too.
been
Um,
here long enough, yeah.
are people in? We are testing, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't want to.
Shortchange anybody.
Yes, everybody made sure that we were part of. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Um, everybody wanted these super chats. Um, we learned that they are a great way to monetize going live, which, truthfully speaking, going live cost us. So we're trying to perfect this, trying to get you guys what you're asking for. We're both novices here and we're figuring it out as we go. And we thank you for participating. We thank you for watching. We thank you for supporting. You guys have always continuously supported us and supported me throughout my career. You can find all the work on alldolphins.com. We're going to begin to use the hashtag. Pupard was very bad at it. Bad boy, bad boy. Using hashtag all dolphins just for the stories and the podcast. So if you go on Twitter or social media and you click on that all dolphins hashtag that you see, or just search all dolphins, you'll find the podcast, the written work, and I'm going to begin doing first and tens again. And I'm going to put it under the All Dolphins podcast flag. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. If you have a question that you want me to alter a question in first and 10, please let me know. I'm open to suggestions, things that you want to know from your team. There are tons of guys who have not done all first and 10. The question is, will they want to? But we'll see. We'll continue to
We'll
kick it
find
off.
out. Can I answer a couple of the questions I see here? I don't know
Sure.
who. Hold on. This I love this. Will Poop ever wear a different hat? I'm not making any promises. I am very, very partial to my Montreal Expos. Born and raised in Montreal. This is also an ode to all displaced franchises. Laura asking, "Am I really taller than you, Omar?"
Yes.
If you guys follow us on social media, I don't know if you posted it. I posted it. We have a picture when we were in Houston at Papa Do's in the restaurant. Yes, I am taller than Omar. Omar
How
tends to
tall
have.
are you?
I'm about 6 feet tall.
No, you're not. You're not 6 feet tall. I'm 5'10". So you're not. I'm 5'10" and a half. I'm claiming my half.
If
You
you're
know.
5'10" and a half, then I'm 6'1" because I'm. I don't
Yeah.
think there's that small of a difference between us. Uh, why the time limit? Why is there a time limit, Omar?
You asking me? I don't know.
I don't know. Because a certain program that we use has a certain time limit. That's all. It's nothing overly sinister. And it's a good length of time too. We don't want to go too long. We don't want to go too short.
I'm trying to figure out how this thing works. So hopefully we can make it work and make it fruitful. Because I'm not necessarily certain I like going live, but if the people demand it, then the people demand it. Um, what what,
That is true.
what is
Oh,
there to address? We did the behind enemy lines earlier today. I think it was the best one yet. Even though nobody said Mac Jones was better than Tua Tagovailoa, it was just extremely informative. And here's why I think behind enemy lines is very informative. Um, if I did not talk to Ben Albright,
yeah.
yeah, if I did not talk to Ben Albright, I would not have known that their cornerback, Damari Mathis, is viewed as their weakest link on their secondary.
Mhm.
Maybe I would have figured it out watching the film. But right now you get a really good snapshot of what's going on with the opponent, what the skill set of the receivers without doing the film work. And it's a great starting point. I usually watch at least two games. The most recent game, I look for a conference opponent, somebody that the Dolphins have played. But this is a great cheat sheet in terms of helping me understand where guys like Nick Bonatio, I don't even know how to say
Bonito,
it.
yeah. Omar, we're going to do a hat tip to Paul. Thank you, Paul.
It is used Drew Sanders, how he's utilized in their defense. We learned a lot about Vance Joseph, the Dolphins' former defensive coordinator, and how he's sort of incorporating a lot of Vic Fangio's schemes and concepts because it's a carryover from last year's regime, and it's what his team is more comfortable with. So, you know, you learn. You learn. I think it's important to learn about your opponent because it basically helps you get prepared for Sunday's matchup.
Yeah, no, and Ben's a radio guy. He's done this for a long time. I've appeared on his show before too. I want to say maybe before the Dolphins played the Broncos a few years back, and he knows his stuff. And you know, he was having a good time with us, and it was a very fun, educational, enlightening conversation.
I'm laughing because people are suggesting 82 belongs to Brian Hartline, so they're kind of predicting who should be. I don't know how you guys keep up with all these numbers. Like I know kind of numbers, and if you tell me who wore 73, I might remember a guy or two, but I can't.
Austin Jackson.
Yeah, Austin Jackson. Who wore 94? Everybody who wore 94.
Randy Starks. How can you forget your dude?
That was my dude.
My number 2 all-time UFA signing in Dolphin history. I make the distinction UFA, not off the street free agent. Cameron Wake, for example, was an off the street free agent signing. UFA is a guy whose contract just expired the previous year and then becomes free to negotiate with another team. And you know who my number 1 is. You should know who my number 1 is.
Frank Grimes, right?
Very good. I was going to say because connection there.
People, I was having this conversation with Joe Rose when I did the QAM show with him yesterday, and we were talking about just athleticism and people like when Brent Grimes was signed here, and he was recovering from the Achilles injury. Miko put out a video of Brent jumping out of a pool. I don't know if you saw that video.
No, but I can believe it.
Yeah, like in 5 feet of water. Ledges up here, and no running start, just flat-footed jumping out of a pool. And I got to tell you, I've seen it on more than one occasion, and because that's how he gets out of a pool. He doesn't walk out of a pool, and it's just mind-numbing the athleticism that he has. I put him and Cameron Wake right up there in terms of guys where their just athleticism was off the charts. They're human freaks of nature. Jalen Ramsey, Tyreek is clearly a freak of nature. And Jalen Ramsey was one of those guys where I the first week, just watching him stay with Tyreek, who is ridiculously fast, and then drape him downfield with all 6'1". What is Jalen? 6'1", 6'2". Just big body who can hang with Tyreek. Like I've never seen Xavier can hang with Tyreek, but Xavier can hang with Tyreek.
Okay, hold up, Omar, since we're doing a super chat so that the people are kind enough to contribute and tip to Dolphin 345. It's time for Omar to start pumping his chest. He's consistently said that Tua will come good in 2023 when he's seen everything a defense can throw at him. We are now finally seeing this come to life. No, you actually think Omar hasn't been pumping his chest? I mean, holy moly. Come on now.
Only among my media peers, because we all know amongst each other and not outing anybody who believes and who doesn't believe. And I've been a firm believer, and I've always expected. And people got to understand, when I made that prediction years ago when he was a rookie, that was because I knew the game needed to slow down for him. I knew that his ability to read and diagnose defenses was sharp. And once the game slowed down for him and he's seen every single defense that anybody could throw at him, he was going to start surgically dissecting people apart.
Okay, but hold on. In fairness, okay? I also pointed out that he had, and I haven't been on his bandwagon as long as you have. No duh, Sherlock, as I'm sure everybody would say. Okay, for me, it was always Let's see him do. And this coming into this season. And by the way, folks, in case you did not know this, on alldolphins.com last year, before the season started, I said watch Tua's passer rating jump up with Mike McDaniels as coach, possibly into triple digits.
You said that before last year?
Before the season last year. Okay, so it's not like, again, I'm supposedly this Tua hater. This year I said let him start and finish what he started. Okay, it's off to a great start. Shane Montgomery, thank you very much, Shane. Make sure you guys read your super chat. That's what we're doing right now. Best Dolphin podcast on YouTube. You man of sound judgment.
How do you know these super chat things? Like,
you're not seeing it? I guess I will be the one to see it. Glad to see you figured out how to monetize a great show. You guys deserve it. Thank you very much, Shane.
Okay, I see it now. But let me finish what I'm saying about Tua.
Well, let's go back to it because I don't want to miss those. We're gonna take care of the people who take care of us. Photo trips. Why don't the Dolphins wear their throwbacks more often? So many other teams wear alternate uniforms constantly. With Connor Williams, Tua snap troubles. What's the leash for Williams? I'll address the throwbacks. There's a limit of twice a year. They're doing it this year. New England game, and I want to say Dallas game at home. Why not permanently? I think the word is that Stephen Ross likes the new look.
No, that's not true. Stephen Ross likes the old look. It's just that they have a contract with Nike, which stipulates that they have to change the jerseys every couple of years. And I think maybe when the next deal is up, they have to change the jerseys again. Yes, they love the throwbacks, but and the players prefer the throwbacks. I believe Tom Garfinkel prefers the throwbacks. The bottom line is you people buy the new and the old. You buy throwbacks. So they sell them. They wear them. Yep. It's just like the Miami Heat and the Vice jerseys. Oh, those are so I am obsessed. I don't even know why I don't have a Vice jersey. But every year they get better and better and better. And I love the Vice jersey. And this is the same concept. This is, and Dolphin fans will buy it all up, gobble it all up.
Don't kid yourself. It all comes down to money. What's the leash on Williams? It's a very long leash. Mike McDaniel was asked about that Monday. Am I wrong? Mike McDaniel was asked about Monday, and he was basically poo-pooing the whole thing. Was basically
saying it was one of 62 bad plays.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of 62 plays. Yeah.
If Connor Williams starts struggling when pass protection or run blocking, now that's a different conversation. But for the most part, he's doing that well.
He might be the best run blocker. I don't know who I would give over.
You sound like you're second guessing yourself as you said it.
No. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, he is the best run blocker.
Robert Hunt's pretty good. Dude 67 hat tip. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Robert Hunt's pretty good too.
Huh? What'd you say?
Robert Hunt's a pretty good.
Very good. You know what I found, and I'm sitting there working and doing studies by the numbers, which is something I'm gonna debut today, I think. I used to do it long time ago, which is while I don't like analytics, I do like statistical studies and seeing where the team is. Like, for instance, I'll give you a perfect example of where this organization is. Right now, the Dolphins average 462.5 offensive yards per game. Last year, oh, damn, I'm already moving on. I'm sorry. So let's look at where they rank now.
You want to look at that, and I'll acknowledge it. Ricardo Kuchikian, I hope I pronounced your name properly. Thank you very much, sir. Following you since podcast since podcast one from Argentina. Very nice. I have a niece who lives in Argentina. She moved there. Born and raised in Montreal. She moved to Argentina. Loves it very much. Just arrived from Boston, where I assisted to great win. Definitely not a Dolphin team like we've been suffering the last 20 years. That is for sure. Without two of our top five, Teron Armstead and Jan Ramsey, once they were back. Las Vegas, by the way, is a site of Super Bowl 58, I want to say. I'm the one who said it's within the realm of possibility. Omar still wants to see a little bit more. Am I right?
Yeah. I think if we were going to go to the schedule, and I don't need to see them beat Kansas City, but that's around the time when I'll know exactly who they are, week 9. And understand, injuries, as I've said always consistently, injuries play a major part of changing the landscape of who a team is. Like, can you imagine how Cleveland's feeling right now without Nick Chubb, their number 1, if not number 3 player on their team? Like, that was a bad injury and a tough loss. Yeah, they had a guy rush for 100 yards, but this is Nick Chubb. He's arguably one of the top 3 backs in the game. So it's
sorry, disagree with you. There is zero arguably there. He's top 3, point blank, no question about it.
Who's number 1?
Lewis Collins, hat tip. Thank you very much, sir. Who's number 1? I'm not so sure it's not Nick Chubb. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, probably because of the all-around work, would be 1. Right now, I'd put Nick Chubb 2. Derrick Henry maybe slightly less than he was before. Alvin Kamara used to be in that realm. But right now, yeah, to me, it's Christian McCaffrey and then Nick Chubb.
Christian McCaffrey and probably Nick Chubb. Yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. Derrick Henry, he's going to be a free agent. I'm so super excited that he's going to be a free agent. I haven't really checked in on what he's doing this season, but I really think that he's be a great fit here. Not that I have a problem with Raheem Mostert, but
the timing's bad on that comment, Omar. I have to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Raheem really fits this offense. Mike McDaniel loves him. He'll continue to be the featured back for probably the next 2 weeks until Jeff Wilson comes back, especially with Savon suffering. What was his injury again?
Groin.
Yeah, man, groins. Those are never good.
Not for a running back. No, that's not good. Not for a running back.
Now you're going to get your chance to see Devon Achane and unleashed 1 yard. 5 yards on 1 carry last week. I'm curious to see how he's utilized. I think they've got an array of plays that they have drawn up specifically for him and Savon. And it's going to be interesting to see how he's utilized, if he's going to be part of the third down package. But it's time. You people have been excited about your Texas A&M rookie. Well, here he goes.
No, Ricardo points out he's Argentinian and Armenian like Garo Yepremian. Hopefully, you can throw a pass better than Garo Yepremian. For any Dolphin historian or anybody who's seen the highlight a zillion times, the greatest blooper of all time. Was it something I saw on Facebook one time? They had a video, like the biggest blooper or the worst play in each team's history. And for the Miami Dolphins, we're like thinking, okay, what could it be? And then it was Garo's quote unquote pass in Super Bowl 7, which prevented. How poetic would that have been, Omar? You may be a little too young to remember this.
I don't have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay, you do know the Dolphins were 14-0 in 1972 in the regular season. They won their first 2 playoff games, so they're going to Super Bowl to go 17-0. They were up 14-0, lining up for a field goal, which would have made it 17-0. Unfortunately, the field goal was blocked right back into the arms of kicker Garo Yepremian, Armenian, who basically kind of like fumbled it like this, and then finally grabbed it and like kind of pushed it forward in the most atrocious looking pass you'll ever see into the arms of a Washington defender, goes all the way down to the end zone to score 14-7. And the quote basically from Dolphin players at the time, I remember who it was basically, get that dude out of my face, I'm going to kill him. His teammates on the sideline. Randy Rogers enjoying every episode. When do you
see they win or lose that game?
They won 14-7. You didn't know the Dolphins finished with a perfect season?
That was a perfect season. So that play happened in the perfect season in the Super Bowl?
Yes, to make the score 14-7 when it could have been 17-0. Randy Rogers, thank you very much, Randy. Enjoying every episode. When do you see Cam Smith getting more playing time?
Oh, could be this week. You know what? I gave Eli Apple my stock down. Eli Apple made a number of good plays along with his PI plays. I was kind of impressed with his coverage skills and tackling and toughness. But, PI is PI. Not to say that I'm, disrespectful to cornerbacks. They get PI. It is. I watched Steelers Patrick Peterson. Get called for PI. Patrick Peterson is one of the greatest cornerbacks that's played
Yeah,
in this era.
not anymore. He ain't. Not anymore. He ain't. He used to be. He used to be.
He's
The time has
old.
not been kind to him. Well, correct. Exactly. He's old.
Patrick Peterson is probably the greatest athlete I've ever seen. And I always love telling this story. Okay, this is a good story. Sorry to give you this is a good story. So I'm working for the Sun Sentinel, and I had just been transferred to the Dolphins beat, but I'm still doing some college stuff. And I talked to all the Nike camps and the rival camps, and I was doing a big package on all those camps and the camp circuits that were just picking up. And so I'm going out there and I get all access to these camps. And that happened to be the junior season of Patrick Peterson going into like his senior year. And it's him. It's all the kids that from Northwestern. I can't remember any of their names. A defensive lineman who Jabal Sheard. So those were like they were high school juniors. And so I'm going there, and I had just visited with Pete Bomarito, who does combine training. And as you know, these Nikes and Rivals camps, they're basically doing combine drills. And so being with Pete teaches, I'm learning the finer art of running a 40 and doing these shuttle drills and things of that nature. And so I'm going to this camp, and I see Patrick Peterson at the time. His name was Patrick Johnson then.
Right.
And
right. Yep.
And
at LSU. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And so he runs his 40 time, and he runs like a 4.44 or something like that. And I go up to him and I say, hey, because I didn't know him, and I saw that his start was horrible, and he still ran a 4.4. And I said, hey, if you do this and keep your head down, because I learned this from Pete Bomarito, if you keep your head down till you get to the 20 and then raise it up and pump your arms, you'll do a faster time. And he was like, oh, okay. He had no idea who I am at that time. Kid goes back, is going to run his second 40, runs it. I believe he runs a 4.32. And then he's absolutely grateful for me for helping him run a faster 40 time. And then everybody's coming up to me like, what should I do? How should I do it? And I'm like, bro, I just paid attention to one thing a specialist told me and helped that guy. I'm not a specialist in this regard whatsoever. But bottom line is, and then I see Patrick Peterson the next week, because clearly we create a friendship from that point. And I see Patrick Peterson the next week at the Nike camp, and he's a cornerback, but he's going out and he's playing wide receiver, and he runs first he starts playing cornerback, and the guys throw it deep. He intercepts the ball 2-3 times. Then he goes next rep. He's playing wide receiver, runs, catches a touchdown. And he's not doing this over slouches. He was doing it over a kid who actually was drafted in the first round along with him. I can't remember the kid's name. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Jesus Christ, this kid is like the best athlete I've ever seen in my life.
Omar, let me interrupt you for a quick second here. Pickle Paul, we are reading every super chat that we've seen so far. The only one that we have not answered yet, there was somebody kind enough to donate asking whether the Dolphins might be more inclined to keep Jalen Waddle out given their recent history with concussions, with player having concussions. It's actually an interesting concept. Is it apples and oranges, though? I mean, you can't. I'm not sure you can start managing every single player like that. I think that would be. I think they're going to be very cautious without question, and being maybe overly sensitive based on what happened last year. But to suggest that unequivocally, no, Jalen Waddle is going to sit because he had a concussion in the concussion protocol last week, and now we're going to sit him out a week no matter what. I don't know if I'd make that connection.
Knowing Mike McDaniel, and he errs on the side of caution. I never thought about it, but that's a possibility. If we don't see Jalen practice this week, I think he's fine. But I'm also not in Jalen's head. You know what I always wonder, and I probably shouldn't wonder this because people are going to say, "Oh, you sound stupid." I have migraines. Oftentimes, that's why I kind of stopped drinking alcohol, because if I drink alcohol, I'll have migraines for like a couple days. How do people know that you're suffering from concussion symptoms if you're having migraines? Like, I understand your head got rocked and shaken up, but let's say you suffer from migraines like Dwayne Wade did. How do they know that these are migraines versus concussions?
Correct. Well, yeah, because that's one of the symptoms. Absolutely. Two quick things. Woody Bennett was a running back in '84 for Kyle, and Omar. Was it cool name? Roasted Nuts wants you to finish the Patrick Peterson story.
Uh so
By the
so
way, that might apply to Patrick Peterson these days. I'm sorry, Roasted Nuts. Sorry.
Stop it. He's still I will tell you. I knew that kid. And at that time I covered a Dolphins training camp and seen Travis Daniels and some sleepers that were playing cornerback. And just from that Nike camp, and the Rivals camp was in the Dolphins bubble facility. Just from that Nike camp, I knew Patrick Peterson was better than every starter on the Dolphins cornerback unit in 2007 as a high school junior. And I knew he would be an immediate star. He committed to Miami, and then, LSU broke out a bag and gave his dad a job and mom a job and took care of the whole family. And so he ended up at LSU. Unfortunately, the Canes, Canes didn't pay. I know they had Nevin Shapiro and all that stuff, but the Canes didn't break the rules because they knew if they broke the rules, they would be put in the electric chair. So
I want to answer this one here. Yeah, I know. I want to answer this. Pickle Paul's asking, in your primes, what football positions could you have played at a high school level? Well, here's the thing. I actually played high school football, but full disclosure, I played football in Montreal, Canada, where primarily because of budgetary reasons, it was touch football, and I was a center and actually was a second leading receiver on the team. And I also played ice hockey, volleyball, and team handball, for those who might be familiar with the European sports in high school.
That's a lot of sports.
Yep.
For a varsity team? Well,
yep.
I don't know how you people rock in Canada. Did you have varsity team?
Well, they didn't rock with tackle football, that's for sure.
No. Cornerback, not very good. My high school was a very good high school. And my senior year, they invested in a lot of the rookies, a lot of the freshmen who went on and played, and then they won They won 2 championships at Carroll City under Walt Frazier. So,
okay. That Truth asking, thank you very much. Asking, why haven't the Dolphins replaced Jason Sanders yet? Because he's got
$2.5 million guaranteed.
There you go.
And they're gonna give him all the support he needs. They're gonna tell him we believe in you, and he's gonna have to miss a game-winning field goal for them to even move off their position. He's gonna have to cost them a game.
Trey Hendricks, thank you very much. Question for Omar, so I guess I can't answer it. All you, where does Brian Flores rank in coaches you have covered? That's a good question. Jealous, I want to answer it too, but it's always for you. Go ahead.
No, you can answer too. I would love to know your answer. Coaches that I've covered, I will always put Tony Sparano number 1, even though he didn't have the greatest amount of success. Tony was a great leader. That team would have followed him into an ambush. And he had the best staff. No question about it. He had the best staff out of every Dolphins, but his staff was Bill Parcells gave him that staff.
Yeah.
But it was still the best staff. Did he have the most innovative offense? No, but he did create the Wildcat. And ultimately, the organization wasn't set up right. So Tony Sparano would be number 1. I would have to put Brian Flores number 2. I put a lot of respect on Flores because when they weren't tanking or weren't allegedly tanking or him counteracting the tank, he put together 2 winning seasons and fought back from a 1-7 start when a team could have easily quit on him.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Flores' undoing was he's got very bad people skills. People don't want to work for him, and he was never going to be able to hire a good offensive coach. So, and obviously he didn't like Tua, so he had to go. I would put Adam Gase ahead of Joe Philbin. That's a layup. Gase's undoing was his maturity, in my opinion. And Joe Philbin, who had no business being a head coach in the NFL, and Cam Cameron, who absolutely had no business being a head coach. He had no business being a head coach. And Dolphins organization should be ashamed that they hired him because he was a laughingstock. But Poop, you got Don Shula, so
G Firm, thank you very much. I go way back. So I got Don Shula and I got Jimmy Johnson, Dave Wanstead, Nick Saban. We kind of need interim head coaches.
I didn't.
Okay, because that would include Jim Bates, Todd Bowles, and Dan Campbell. Interestingly enough, on alldolphins.com, and I would hope everybody who's in this chat would be following or checking out religiously alldolphins.com, because at the time the Dolphins made a coaching change, I wrote a story putting basically where does Brian Flores rank among Dolphin coaches. I believe I had him number 3 at the time, which I'm sure is going to go over really, really well with the folks here.
Number 3 behind who? Don Shula.
Shula was 1, obviously. I think I had, as I recall, Jimmy Johnson number 2. And the only bone, I agree with you that Sparano is a great leader of men. The only issue that I have there is I think Bill Parcells, kind of /no, was a lot of the brains behind the operation, if we're going to be honest about it. And the reason Tony Sparano didn't win Coach of the Year after the Dolphins went from 1-15 to 11-5 in winning the division was because of that perception that, Tony Sparano did a great job, but it was kind of Bill Parcells' show. And in answering that,
Parcells never won Executive of the Year that year. I think it was Atlanta got all the awards.
I know Atlanta got Mike Smith, is that what it was? Might have won Coach of the Year. Mike McDaniel said as an incomplete right now, the body of work's not significant enough. But I do want to say this: Shula is obviously a no-brainer. Jimmy Johnson is a guy whose tenure in Miami got trashed way more than it should have. Again, because of the expectations, because he drove Dan Marino to retirement. The truth is Dan Marino his knees were getting worse and worse by the year. Jimmy Johnson, to begin with, didn't want to play the high-flying ball that Don Shula was playing during Marino's heyday. And that was kind of a mess right there. But the Dolphins made the playoffs 3 times in Johnson's 4 years. And he provided the foundation for what was a championship caliber defense with Patrick Surtain, Sam Madison, not Tim Bowens, Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas. Those are all Jimmy Johnson guys. So I think, Jimmy Johnson deserves a lot more respect for his Dolphin tenure than I think a lot of fans want to give him. So that was my ranking.
Okay. Hold on.
One other comment, my good buddy Dana is going boo.
wait, hold on, wait a minute. Where's Joe Philbin, Adam Gase, and Cam?
You want all of them? The question was just where did I put Flores? Cam Cameron's definitely the last one. Saban would have, when I talk about no people skills, Saban would have been high up there because in terms of X's and O's, he was very, very sharp. Except he may have had worse people skills than Brian Flores. If that's imaginable. And he got completely undone by a decision that was made of trading for Dante Culpepper instead of signing Drew Brees as a free agent. And former GM Randy Mueller, it was very interesting in a subsequent podcast I heard, basically said that the guy who gave Drew Brees as physical for the Dolphins was somehow affiliated with Wayne Huizenga, the owner at the time, and that doctor wouldn't clear him. And Randy Mueller's point was like, well, if the owner's doctor is not clearing him, when there's no way we can sign him. So then basically they went to plan B, which was Dante Culpepper. And we all know how that turned out.
David asked me a question. Should Hurts graduated from Bama and played 3 college football playoffs for them? Should Bama not be able to claim him? Okay, if you want to claim him, sure. But so now 2 schools can claim 1 guy. Is that how we're working now in today's age of free agency in college athletics? Hey,
Eric making the point that Dave once said won a playoff game. Yeah, he won a playoff game with all due respect, because I like Dave Wanstead. I first met him when he was an assistant, when he was Jimmy Johnson's DC at the University of Miami. He won a playoff game basically on the strength of the defense that Jimmy Johnson put together, if we're going to be honest about things.
I mean, I don't think his win-loss record is anything to sleep on. Hasn't been matched since. Dave Wanstead.
And again, they said, I'm going to make the same argument again and what was the foundation of that team? It was
that's like taking the credit from Larry Coker for winning a national championship with Butch's players. Did he win it or did he not win it? Like I am one of the rare individuals. I am one of the rare individuals that respects Larry Coker, and that thinks that he deserves a lot of praise and props because Larry did a lot of good things properly. He did the right thing. Yes, the franchise fell apart under his watch. But let me ask you a question. Have you been back to the Larry Coker heights since? Larry Coker got fired for going back-to-back Peach Bowls.
But there's been probation issues, and then it's not as simple as Larry. And I like Larry Coker also, and he's a good man and a good coach. But I mean, as you like to say, let's not pretend that he was the guy who made the program, and once he left, well, you don't have any structure, any coaching, and then boom.
Yeah, but people don't give him credit and props for the players that he recruited. Frank Gore, these are people he signed. Frank Gore, Roscoe Parrish, Eric Winston. Let's go tight end. Greg Olson. Let's go defensive lineman. Calais Campbell. Kellen Winslow. He signed Antro Roll. He signed Sean Taylor. Like people don't, but look, he signed not Vilma. No, I don't think Vilma's his.
Vilma played in late 90s. Wasn't Vilma Butch?
Vilma's was Butch. He signed Beeson. John Beeson. Brandon Merriweather. Like he signed a lot of good players and developed a lot of good players. He signed Devin Hester. He signed Vince Wolf. No, I don't know. I don't think he signed Vince Wilfork. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, that one might have been a Butch player. But people don't put respect on Larry's name like they should, and I definitely think that he deserves a better respect level from Canes fans because you haven't returned to those heights since.
No, we haven't. Okay, let's get back to Dolphins. Somebody asked, it was funny. Somebody asked, stated, Xavier cannot hang with Tyreek. Duh. Go ahead.
Wait.
In terms of speed, are we serious?
Hold on. Nobody can hang with Tyreek. Can Xavier cover Tyreek? Like, let's not pretend like Xavier's getting roasted by Tyreek in practice. Do you see that?
No.
I don't see that.
He also picked off Patrick Mahomes in 2020 when the Chiefs played at Hard Rock Stadium when he was going to Tyreek in the corner of the end zone. You remember that play?
Xavier is about to get his head beat in by Tyreek. Now, is Tyreek a dangerous MFer? Yeah. But Xavier doesn't take losses to him like that on a regular basis. It don't happen like that.
No, but if the question is pure speed, nobody hangs with Tyreek Hill.
Nobody's hanging with Tyreek. But Xavier's not about to get beat by Tyreek like that. Like, please. So some of these underthrown passes by Tua, please, that's Xavier's.
Yep. No, I said this before. I'm going to say it again. Best ball skills of any cornerback in the NFL. I mean, it's just dude might as well be a wide receiver. Oh, I like that digging the live Q&A. JJ set Shula up during his last season when he was, and I believe inside the NFL. Well, last I checked, JJ wasn't the owner of the team.
Omar's the filthy toilet and Alan's the freaking poop. Okay,
Oh,
that's
clever, dude. Really? Wow, that is clever. Impressive. I like all those adult because yes, right. I think you do as well, Omar. But we read the comments on YouTube after videos, and guys, you're gonna make fun of my last name seriously. I mean, first of all, not like I've heard it before.
We called the man poop in work for like I've known him as poop since like 1997. Like takes full ownership for his name.
Yeah, seriously. So like poop fart and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like the poop fart, poop jokes. Like the man is referred to as poop. Like what do you want from him?
Yeah. And if I'm going to be insulted, put some effort into it. Like seriously. You know? Come on.
You probably heard every possible poop joke there is.
Or no, another one. Pardon me. Do you have any great poupon or great poupar? You know, just I got it. Should Lamb start at right tackle when Tehran comes back? No. Nobody's played well. There was a play. There was a play on the pick, the 2 interception against New England. Austin Jackson got pushed back pretty significantly. Didn't affect the throw because the guy got there right after, but it wasn't.
Probably rushed the throw. Maybe Tua did. I don't want to dissect it I didn't want to dissect it until I got the coach's film, the all 22, and looked at it to see if it forced him to like not step up into the throw. I couldn't tell from the TV copy. I'll take a look at it. The all 22 now it's available today. Yeah, it was. He allowed a sack, and that I would say he contributed to a pressure that led to an interception. But Austin Jackson's not
Omar. Yeah, no, sorry. No,
underthrow.
Okay, I'm sorry. The pressure that contributed to an interception. I didn't see the throw being hindered. He went deep to Tyreek on a shot, underthrew him a little bit, and Christian Gonzalez made a great play. Again, if that makes me a hater because I'm pointing out, I'm refusing to find an excuse for a pick that Tua threw. Sorry.
Did not say it was an excuse. You
just said the pressure led to an interception.
I said the pressure contributed to maybe he rushed the throw. Maybe he didn't take a full step into the throw. I'm not making an excuse.
No, that doesn't sound like an excuse at all. No.
That was a great throw, a great identification. That was the right play, the right throw. You see Tyreek one-on-one, you went for it. It didn't pay out for you. That happens to everybody in the NFL. Do we expect that Tua is going to throw 35 perfect passes every game?
Not the point, my friend. Not the point. And this is where I'm going to defend myself because I'm going to get killed over this. I'm not expecting him to be perfect on every throw, and he made the right decision. But the idea that the pass was underthrown because the pressure was coming. No, sorry. I mean, he went.
The pass was underthrown.
Sorry,
the pass was underthrown. It was.
That's all. Okay, good. Okay. Dom Henderson, thank you very much. After these 2 weeks, I believe there should be a lot QB max only after a Super Bowl win. Your thoughts, team sport, not even Mahomes can do it alone. After these 2 weeks, I believe there should be a lot QB max only after. So I'm not sure I understand the question.
I'm reading it as well. After a Super Bowl win, your thoughts? Oh, QBs get max contracts after a Super Bowl win. Oh, that's. Here's the thing: if we
not even, but then they said not even Mahomes can do it. Mahomes can do it alone. You know, correct. But go ahead, Nomar.
I always use last offseason Daniel Jones's $40 million a year contract as like the baseline. Like that's the floor for what Tua's gonna demand. And trust me, it's probably closer to 50 than it is 40. And at this pace, how he's playing, let's just say he stays healthy, you're probably going to look at him going ahead of Herbert and Burrow. I mean, we are talking about the MVP co-leader with Patrick Mahomes right now.
It's 2 weeks though.
Yeah, I mean,
see, and to me, he gets into that ballpark. I don't know about surpassing them because, right or wrong, even if he has a fully healthy year,
they're still going to be concerned about.
So I don't know if he quite reaches that, but he gets in that territory. Let's put it this way, he gets a lot closer to Burrow and Herbert than to Daniel Jones.
Absolutely. No question about that. We do not agree. Roast Nuts says Broncos are a trap game, and you've been mentioning that. And I'm not sure I believe in that.
I said if there's such a thing, it's a potentially trap game because the idea of looking ahead, absolutely. Micah Parsons, MVP, period. If you're suggesting he's the best player in the NFL so far, you're not wrong, but defensive player winning MVP, it would have to be some crazy nutty thing because it's quarterback centric.
PI is understandable, but getting juked by Parker isn't. Laugh out loud. Who got juked by Parker?
Whose longest reception was what, 14 yards?
Like, Parker's no slouch, but he's Devontae Parker.
AVG better than Parsons. Yeah, we Omar and I love AVG, but no.
The super chats are for y'all to read. Didn't I read them? Yeah, 5 o'clock. 5. Okay, I'm old chats. Okay, why Dolphins haven't replaced Jason Sanders? Okay, you got that already, bro.
Oh, we'll get that one.
The PO box. People have said that, and I actually like that. I'm not even gonna lie. It's probably patented and owned by somebody, but people have mentioned that.
Bunch of phony Dolphins fans in here. Let's pound the negatives. No, we're not pounding the negatives. We're pounding the realism is what we do.
And I'm not a Buccaneers fan, Roasted Nuts. I'm a fan of people that I know and like and respect. I like Todd Bowles. I like Casey Rogers. So I respect them. I like them. I'm a fan of theirs. When Brett was there, loved the Bucks, supported the Bucks, but I support my friends. Like, sorry if you don't get that, but
okay. Dana with Ahmed Hurd, do the Dolphins sign another back? No, unless it's going to be a long-term thing, and then they're not. No, they're not. I don't think they're trading for Cam Akers either.
Yeah, they have a Darrington Evans on the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
He's a kid from Appalachian State. He's been in the league for 4 years. He's also got return ability. Okay. Tiny guy.
Yep, he does.
Do you think Tom Curran changed his opinion about Jones and Tua? No. And I think Tom is good. If Ocho Cinco didn't get cut, over under on 800 yards. Can you tell people, like, I deal with this all the time. People are like, Ocho wasn't good back in 2012 when he signed with the Dolphins. Can you tell people Ocho was good?
I'm sorry. He was great in his prime. He was great.
No. I'm talking about when he was with the Dolphins.
No, he wasn't good. He was like very slow. He couldn't get open. Boy, you gonna disagree with that?
Yes.
Oh, no.
David Garrard.
Hold on. Let's revisit this. We have Gordon Shumway. Thank you very much. Could this Fangio bend, don't break philosophy cause for worry of memories of Tom Olivedati? Oh boy, his defenses just to get run all over, and unless there was a great pass rush, it was absolute garbage. There was a lot of time it was bend and break, not bend but don't break. That's a guy who older Dolphin fans will know and took some shots. Holy moly! No, they did not have great defenses.
Thanks, Gordon. What I found interesting from Ben today, if you haven't watched that Behind Enemy Lines, you absolutely should, because he tells you a lot of stuff about a lot of people on your staff, even though Mike McDaniels, and talks about him when he was a dancer, which I gotta get to Wednesday's press conference for that. You know,
You know that's going to be a 20-minute answer, right?
yes, but I need to know what was his favorite type of dance.
There you go.
Twiddle toes, Mike McDaniel.
Ballroom Mike, I think I like that.
Ballroom Mike, yeah. I'm sorry, I can't. Like,
well, you continue laughing. We got another one. Saint Eddie, thank you very much. Do you feel like this team is mature enough to not let the media praise rip them up? They're number 5 in the power rankings, or trip them up, I should say.
Who cares about power rankings?
Yeah, I'm not buying that. I don't think players at this level really start getting too full of themselves. That might be a college thing more.
You know, Mike McDaniel actually addressed that on Friday, and he said, you know, or was it Monday? He said last year getting off to a hot start and then having the season humble us.
Yep.
You know, that was a great lesson and probably the best lesson for us. And it basically has him believing that all his players will be locked in now because they've already been to the top of the mountain and then got pushed off. And so now they know what to do to get back to the top of the mountain. The question is, do they know what to do to stay there? And we shall learn.
And that's also suggesting that they got humbled. I don't think they got humbled because they got too happy with themselves when they were 8-3 last year. I think part of it is they got into the meat of their schedule and they weren't quite up to that level. And with the Dolphin offense, I see you making a face, but I'm going to say something, and I'm going to say something, and then you're going to tell me I'm wrong, and you can tell me I'm right. With the Dolphin offense as timing-based as it is, everything has to happen quick, and everything has to be synchronizing very, very well. If you get disrupted, which is going to happen against better team, better defenses, and the timing's a little bit off, and the execution's not there, then it starts going awry. That's what happened to the Dolphins last year. A lot more than, hey, we're 8-3, we're awesome. Thank you very much, Saint Eddie. Miss Salian, Magic Mike. That's go. That's good, Magic Mike. Johnny Rotten, thank you very much. What's more concerning, Waddle banged up or Connor snap issues?
Waddle banged up
easily.
Yeah.
And we don't want to.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we don't want to poo-poo the snap issues because, no fun intended, poop the snap issue, the snap issues. But big picture, I'm not quite on board with it. It's only 2 plays out of 60 and all that. Again, it's 2 games, it's small sample size. And last year, Omar, you made that point. It wasn't an issue during the regular season last year. It was an issue in training camp last year. So let's keep watch on it. And if it doesn't get worse, then.
Jim Rios asked an interesting question. When offense is on the field, does Fangio call down his insights from on high to an offensive assistant for Coach Mike? No, I think they focus on their side of the ball. He's talking about what's coming next. What are we doing? They're talking to defensive players. What are they seeing? I've learned one side doesn't even watch the other side. So,
and you think there were a lot of pre-snap penalties last year? If Fangio did that, we'd be a flag fest every play. Am I right?
Yeah. Dave Swanstead won a playoff game. Yep, won the last playoff game.
30th 2000, Lamar Smith game. Rode him like a mule, and the next week he had nothing left. I mean, nothing left. And in that game, I hate to bring back, I don't know why I'm doing it, but in that game they were playing at Oakland, and the first drive they drive all the way down the field, or close to the 30-yard line, whatever. Jay Fiedler gets picked off, and they didn't come close the rest of the game. However, if you want to check it on YouTube, not another podcast because this is the only podcast to check out, but check out Oronde Gadsden catch Oakland playoff game. Completely ridiculous, sick catch. The Odell Beckham type of catch. One hand stretched out, falling backwards. Of course, they were down 27-0 or 20-0 in the second half, but it was just a stupid catch.
Question for Poop. Did McDaniel look fast versus that cameraman?
And the thing is, and people are talking like this is a big, he was a wide receiver in college. So I'm going to guess he can run. I'm probably not he's not Tyreek Hill, but he's not a
I
slow
would
recruiter.
love to see pictures. I remember when he got hired, I was looking up trying to find his stats, and it was hard. I think I can't remember, and I don't want to quote myself. And so I'm not going to say what I found, but let's just say he barely played. Anyway, any chance that find the kick button. What the hell is the kick button?
There you go.
San
Diego State, how is Alama Uluabi doing? We have to switch back. Marcellus Temple, thank you very much, sir. Question, we have a matchup with the Cowboys in December, I believe. Yes, December 24th. How much do you guys believe in this early hype surrounding them already? Are they really good or just playing well against lesser competition? That defense is no joke. And I don't care who they play. That defense is no joke. And their defensive coordinator, fun fact, used to be an assistant with the Dolphins. I don't know if he ever was a DC, though. Dan Quinn.
Nick Saban years?
Yes. But that defense is ridiculous. And they picked up a really low-key great act. Stephon Gilmore, getting him in the offseason is really good. Micah Parsons is a complete joke how good he is. DeMarcus Lawrence is a hell of a defensive end. They have another DT who's really, really good. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Dak Prescott guy. That's my issue with them. But their defense is no joke.
What Pickle Paul asked, would you ever get a Dolphins tattoo?
You waiting for me to answer for you?
Do you have any tattoos?
I do not. I would not. The only tattoo I would ever consider would be wife and my kids' names. That's the only thing I would ever consider, and I'd say the chances of that are 1 in 17,000. But that's the only thing I would ever do.
Yeah, I'd do a Dolphins tattoo. Probably when my career is over, I'll probably get a tattoo with all the teams that I've covered. If I'm still in the tattoos, I've got a lot. I got a lot, but
yeah, got one here for you. I'll let you take the first crack at it. Smelyansky, thank you very much. Love you guys. What year was this organization at its lowest that it's ever been?
2007.
That's kind of a
man. That year was so miserable. Oh my God! Going into the locker room, you could tell everybody hated going to work. Even the reporters hated going to work. Like
I'll give you a runner up though. Go ahead, finish your thought. I'll give you a runner up.
Let me say something and see if it triggers you. Good question. I would love to answer that, but unfortunately, I can't.
I'm glad you asked that question.
I'm glad you asked that question. I would love to answer that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I can't.
Or you get. I'll get back to you on that. Yeah, that was Cam Cameron, by the way. My runner-up question. Thank you very much, Karen. My runner-up 2004. That's not long before you started covering the beat. Ricky Williams. Wanstead's last year. Ricky Williams bails on the team night before the start of training camp. This also was the time they hired an offensive coordinator in the offseason, dealt with some issues, resigned before even training camp started. They hired, and you know who they hired as the offensive coordinator in 2004? You will love this, Chris Foerster. And then the Dolphins started off 0-6 before they finally won a game. Dave Wanstead was fired with, I want to say, 9 games left at the bye. Jim Bates came in. They were 1-8 at the time. Jim Bates came in, did a very good job as an interim coach. They played tough down the stretch, won 3 of their last 4 to finish 4-12. And then that set him up with the second overall pick as opposed to the first in 2008. And that year, after the 49ers took Alex Smith, the Dolphins, because Nick Saban was an SEC guy and he loved his SEC players, took Ronnie Brown, running back from Auburn, with the number 2 pick, who was a good, solid player. But that was also the year that somebody went 23rd or 24th, I forget, by the name of Aaron Rodgers. Yep.
lot of missed opportunities in drafts, but that's neither here nor there. We have our quarterback right now, and he's going to help us become relevant again. Best team right now. He's got the best offense in the NFL.
Oh, I love this question for you, Omar. Okay. Omar, if the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, you're going to cut your hair.
Hell no. People
That's
used
good.
to ask that all the time. I'm like, no.
That is good. Okay.
Maybe
I'll get dreads. Maybe I'll get dreads. How's that? Yeah, no.
Is Chris Brooks going to get any snaps this season? Hey, has he been active was he active for the second game? I mean, was he playing? Did he play?
What are we talking about?
Chris Brooks.
Special teams only for the first 2 games. Will he get snapped? I would imagine at some point, but with Salvon Ahmed out, yeah, this would be an opportunity for him. Assuming he's out, this would be an opportunity for him to get snapped because Jeff Wilson's still on IR. So it could be Mostert, Achane, and Brooks. Going to be a heavy dose of Mostert, but I could see Brooks getting some snaps.
I'm looking at these the comments.
Got it. Why are you calling this podcast Test Tuesday? To throw everybody off? Did that work? People made it out here. Again, as Omar pointed out when we started this, we're experimenting with a lot of different things. And I didn't know. Oh God, I am not a technical wizard. I didn't know that if I did a test, I was doing a test, was not in the studios, quote unquote. And I saw like people commenting of like, when is this starting? I'm like, wait a second, that went live. So anyway, apologize for.
But we came here, we did extra.
There you go. What else we got here?
Make sure, don't just watch this. You gotta watch the Behind Enemy Lines because it's really good. It's really, really, really good. I've discovered so many things. Stevie E. Jackson asks, when Ramsey comes back, real contenders finally? Let's see how he performs before we say that.
They might be real contenders, right? They might be real contenders right now. There are 2 teams in the AFC who are 2-0. Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens. That's it. And there are 9 teams in the NFL who are 2-0. Only 2 of them won both games on the road. It's the Dolphins and the 49ers. So, yeah, extraordinarily early, but yes, right, they're contenders right now.
Yeah. Just to, I know we answered Eddie. And Eddie, we thank you so much for everything and all the guidance that you've shown us and given us and helped us along the way. Thank you. This is such a mature team. They're not feeling themselves. Even just talking to Joe, they were locked in on the bus ride, just headed to the game against the Patriots. And it's the Patriots. Everybody's locked in. Now, this week is going to be an interesting test because, as Poop said, could be a trap game. You could be overlooking, but I don't know how you overlook Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson, he could get you. He could get you. Take him lightly.
You remember the last time he was here?
Noah Igbenogany game. Yep. Cost Noah. No, I put that game on Noah.
Yeah, that was a frustrating game. No, you're not. And it was a frustrating game because the Dolphins had scoring opportunity, couldn't get it done in the red zone, and they wound up losing, I want to say by 3, but I don't remember. Had a fellow Canadian, thank you very much, ask a question. Hold on. So let me look over here so I can get the name. Sorry. No, that's not saying it. I apologize. The name, it's not showing up. Otherwise, I would write. Canadian dude is asking, do the Dolphins need to upgrade a tight end? Not until something happens to Durham Smythe because he's doing great and he's playing practically the entire game. But as Omar mentioned, injuries are a part of the NFL. And if something happens to him, yeah, they absolutely need to get on the phone.
Goodness gracious, I'm so behind in the chat. I'm seeing things that you've answered already.
Sorry, Dustin. My apologies. Dustin is Canadian dude.
Laura asked me, how long have you been growing your hair? My son is 21 years old, so I have been growing my hair for 22 years. And I cut it all the time. I do have, where's my son? Pictures of my kids in the office, but none easily accessible.
Are you sure that question was addressed to you? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, how long have you been growing your hair? McDaniel was a DB? Hold on, wait a minute.
Daniel was a wide receiver. Sorry.
Yeah, somebody said McDaniel was a DB. I don't know what he was. Maybe he was a DB. We gotta ask.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a wide receiver, but okay, I'm not gonna argue. Pupar, how long have you been growing your hair? Actually, I had a haircut last week. Roasted nuts. That was funny. Subscribe, like, and comment. Make these guys famous. Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Listen, I just thank you guys so much for all the support that you've shown us and continue to show us. We just keep doing this because it's continuing to grow and you like it. And we're here. And hopefully you continue to enjoy alldolphins.com, where it's free. You don't have to pay for a subscription. And we will continue to deliver what you're looking for. I'm trying to figure out my rhythm and flow, and Poupart is lecturing me all the time about what people want to read. It's very difficult for me because I'm so used to writing what I want to write, not necessarily what people want to read. And you know,
finding a balance.
There's finding a balance, but we'll figure it out. We'll get it right. Omar, why are you always yawning? Because I've got a 2.5-year-old toddler who just wears me out, and I apologize for always yawning, but yes,
been there.
And I don't take caffeine. I'm thinking about starting to drink Red Bulls and I forget what they're called. It's not Red Bulls. It's another one that's no artificial flavors. We used to advertise for it with I'm Athlete. I can't remember. I can't believe I don't know the name. It's a white, and I'm starting to think about taking those because in the afternoons I just get tired. And now I'm going to go pick up my toddler, and she's going to wear me out for the next 3 hours.
Somebody asked me, KJ asked me who's my favorite Dolphin. That's a double part question. As a player, boy, that's a good question. As a player, I think I'd have to go. I don't know. I don't know how you not go Tyreek Hill. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's like watching somebody on a video game. It's crazy. As a person.
This is my son.
There you go. Very nice.
With my daughter. Yes. It's my screensaver.
Who's Tyreek as a person? Go ahead. You can answer your favorite Dolphin. I'm going to think as a person.
Michael Thomas.
Are we talking all the time? Or are we talking now? No, Michael Thomas is a great guy. Yeah.
Okay. I was talking like now. Now. Probably. I mean, I'm an Xavier Howard fan. I just am.
As a player or a dude?
Both. He's got a lot of stuff going on right now. But
yes, he does.
Listen, as long as he keeps that off the field, we're good.
Yes, he does. There are a lot of good dudes on that team. Jalen Phillips is a great kid.
I don't know him. I don't know.
He's a great kid. And I use
Jalen Phillips. Yeah, I thought you meant Jalen. Yeah.
No,
I don't know anybody on this team, and if we're gonna be honest, it kind of bothers me that they know me and I don't really know them. And people like Raekwon. I go up to Raekwon the other day, and I'm trying to ask him something about him riding his bike after practice. And he's like, "What do you want, Omar?" And I'm like, one, how do you know my name? I haven't covered the team for all of last year. And he says, "Bro, everybody knows who you are." And I'm like, everybody should not know who I am. It's a very uncomfortable, like having a reputation, and like I haven't had the opportunity to like let you know who I am or let you get to know me, but just because of the reputation I have, like that's not fair. I would like to show myself before I'm judged.
Great question here. Has Tyreek Hill made a bigger impact than Ricky Williams? And the answer is yes.
Absolutely.
But don't put some respect on Ricky's name. I mean, Ricky was a baller. I mean, damn. But Tyreek completely transformed this team.
Tyreek is the best player I've seen playing football, and I put him ahead of Randy Moss. And here's the reason why I put him ahead of Randy Moss. Because Randy was good for one thing. Randy could moss you and take, oh, yeah, come on.
Dude, he could burn you deep, too. Randy Moss was like 6'4" and ran like a 4'3". I mean, it wasn't just...
Yeah, I didn't say... No, I'm saying that's what he did. He burned you. He, like, roasted you. He mossed you. Randy Moss wasn't running slants and drags and no, that wasn't his game. But he was one of the most feared receivers in the NFL. Tyreek is the most dangerous weapon I've ever seen on a football field. There's nothing like it.
No, there is nothing like him.
That you could try to replicate it. There's nothing like him. I can't even. The kid Zay Flowers from Boston College, who's now with Baltimore, probably the closest thing I've seen to Tyreek, but still, there's nothing like Tyreek.
No.
Yeah.
Who is your least favorite Dolphin now? No, not answering that. And no, it's not Tua, and I'm not answering. I wouldn't touch that question with a 10-foot pole, and I don't think any media member would touch that.
Oh wow!
Anyone here?
Bezos says, when is Poker Todd coming back? He made $400 off a $25 bet. Look at that. He didn't have
Alex Ingold and then the over. Omar, look at.
Yeah, that would have got me.
Omar, did you guys, anyone hear Tobin mention trading Armstead?
Huh?
No, they're not trading Armstead. The salary cap ramifications make that cray. So I don't know. Dolphins, number one, thank you very much.
Everybody, supposedly, we need you to hit the like button. Thank you for watching. I actually got to go because I got to go pick up my toddler.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up. I could continue this for a while, but I also have I have to make some dinner for my kids who are not toddlers, but they want to eat just as much as the toddler does. So we'll take care of that. We'll do this again. I actually enjoyed doing these. Brian, thank you very much. Let's see who ends up with more all-purpose yards this season, Ingold or Smythe. I think it's going to be Smythe. I think Ingold is
definitely going to be Smythe. Yeah. Ingold, boy, that blocking. It was
fine though. Cost him $14,000.
Yeah, we got to watch that for the rest of the season because he lays people out.
He does. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. Again, thanks everyone so much for the contributions, the feedback, the questions, the comments. We appreciate all the support
in all regards. It's a different world and universe in media and journalism today. This is something where we're doing it on our own, and we thank you for all the support. It really means a lot to us.
Yeah, and we appreciate you putting up with the lack of production values. If you notice, there's no great graphics or anything like that. We're just two guys.
We're working on it. We are working on it.
Speak for yourself.
We're not working on it. We're trying to jazz it up and give you social media posts and things of that nature, but we kind of have a job to do, and tomorrow is a big practice for us.
Last one before we go. Gordon, thank you very much. Have you asked Tom Curran if he still thinks Mac Jones is a better QB? He's your dude. So have you talked to him since the game?
He'll be back the next time we play the Patriots, baby.
Week 8. Get ready for it. Week 8.
Week 8. Tom, we might do a live chat with Tom so you guys can have that.
Lord. That would be awesome. Again, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you. All right, guys.